Hello, good evening, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Sports World on ABC News. Yes, my name is James Ohinba. It's that time of the day where we dissect, digest, and delve deep into sporting issues in Ghana and around the world. The English Premier League, the run-in is on, and Arsenal, the Gunners, are still on top of the English Premier League table. Manchester City are chasing them. It's just 3 points between the Citizens and also the Gunners. Tonight, Manchester City play against Burnley, an outstanding game. Can they catch Arsenal on top of the Premier League table? So we'll be discussing the running into the end of the season. We'll be dissecting and analyzing the rest of the games for these two clubs. We'll be looking at each games and looking at how these two clubs have the chances to win the game and also go on to win the English Premier League. And from the top of the table, we go right down to the south of the table, or to the down of the table, where there is the relegation battle going on, the survival of the fittest. Tottenham Spurs are in hot fire. They are in the relegation zone. We already know that Wolverhampton Wanderers have been relegated. Burnley, mathematically, remember, have not been relegated, but they look like they are going down the drain. So it is between Spurs, West Ham, and Nottingham Forest. Which of these three teams are going to be relegated at the end of the season? We'll be speaking to Harlem Globetrotter, who is the host of Tottenham Hotspur's podcast. He will be right here on the show with us to discuss the struggles of Tottenham Hotspur and their new manager, Roberto De Zerbi. Liam Rosinia has been sacked as head coach of Chelsea Football Club. Just 4 months into a six-year contract, he has been sacked. He went on a 5-game losing streak without scoring a goal, and that was how bad Liam Rosinia has been, and he has been sacked by Chelsea Football Club. Was it the right decision? Should he have been given more time? And who are Chelsea Football Club going for at the end of the season? This and many more we will discuss tonight on the show. Remember, the show is an interactive one, so you can send in your comments when we display the text number on your screen, and also when we display the call number, so you can call and share in your comments. My name is James Ohinba. Remember, the show is powered by Betway, and they are saying that share your codes with your friends, fans, and followers. It doesn't matter whether they lose that code, you earn 4% of their wager. We go for a break. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest, and then we'll delve deep into the show. Stay tuned.
Magic pepper and onion, a delicious tomato mix with tomato, pepper and onion. No grinding, no blending. Ya yenyi na da da da. So pa mediane no abin.
Come on, Gino, do your magic.
And papa no kunu abefi.
Tasty magic.
Gino Magic Pepper and Onion. The magic that brings them home.
This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
This week's been wild. New releases dropping, artists blowing up, moments going crazy on the timeline. Don't worry, we've got you.
We put the highlights, the date, the event, everything you need to know, and then the real fun starts.
The official top 10 songs running the streets, the airwaves, and your playlists.
If the culture is talking about it, we are counting it down.
This is the rundown.
Welcome back from the breeder. You are still watching Sports World on ABC News GH with me, James Ohenbamakion. I have here with me Bismarck Amponsa. Bisky, how are you doing?
I am great.
Hey, Charlie.
Fine.
Now, can I say? Obo,
it's Meniaji.
I
mean,
what's happening?
The mood has been, the week has been good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because so many things have happened, you know.
Are you about to marry?
Oh no,
okay.
I'm not about to get married. I don't know about Onijana.
Oh, say no so bad, me ni beje.
And also about Onibedi. I'm following your footsteps. When you get married, and I'll get married.
And the unya worry.
I didn't know, Kasa.
Well, I hope you are good.
Oh yes, I'm fine. Just small.
All right, so let's get into the issues. So first of all, let's have the English Premier League on the English Premier League table on our table, at least the top half of the table. So there we have it. So Arsenal are on top of the Premier League. They have 70 points. Manchester City are second with 67 points. Third on the table is the Red Devils, Manchester United. They have 58 points. Aston Villa follows. There's Liverpool and there's Brighton and Hove Albion. So this is the top half of the fringe. The top six. Chelsea Football Club cannot be found anywhere. But for the meantime, we are focusing on the two teams battling for the top spot of the English Premier League table. It is Arsenal and also Manchester City. Let's have a look at the Arsenal remaining fixtures. Let's go through it and let's see how they will be able to maintain their spot. So there we have it on our screens. So on Saturday, Arsenal will play against Newcastle United, and then they will play against Fulham, play against West Ham United, play against Burnley Football Club, and they'll play against Crystal Palace. That's when they will end their season at the Shellhorse Park. By then, we would have known how the table is looking like, whether they are going to win it or it will go down to the wire of the last day. Then for Manchester City, remember currently they are playing against Burnley Football Club. Then after that one, they will play against Crystal Palace. They will play against Everton. There's Brentford in the mix. There's Bournemouth. And then on the last day, they will play against Aston Villa. So Arsenal have 70 points. Manchester City have 67 points. But before we go into the details of each game, let me ask Bisky about how last weekend went in terms of the English Premier League. Yeah. We saw that big game between Arsenal and also Manchester City at the Etihad. City took the lead. Havertz equalized, kind courtesy a blender from Gianluigi Donnarumma, and then in the dying embers of the game, Erling Haaland also scored 2-1. Were you surprised by that particular scoreline, especially for the fact that when City won that game, it closed the gap to just 3 points?
To be honest, I wasn't surprised about the scoreline. Yes, if going into the game, I knew it was going to be a difficult game. If I said that it was going to be easy for both sides, I'll be lying. I knew it was going to be a difficult game, but at the end of the day, I knew City would definitely pick up the points. And when anyone mentioned the City and Arsenal game, only one thing comes to mind. It is just like currently what is going on in WWE. There is a guy called Obafemi. Whenever he steps up and his team drops, you hear Oba, hey. Oba. That's what. Yes. He's not the fans' favorite. You know, right now, everyone is gearing towards Man City winning the title. Arsenal has led the league for so many months, so many days. City have led the league not even more than 10 days. The rest has been Arsenal, and yet they can lose the league. And that should tell you how important that game was for Mikel Arteta and his Arsenal team. And yet still, they couldn't pull off the win at Etihad. Because Arteta himself, since he became coach for Arsenal, in the Premier League, he has never won at the Etihad, has he? So it was always going to be difficult. Yeah. Playing against your master, someone who has trained.
Even in the only thing was that in the last 4 games between the two, Pep hadn't beaten.
It has been
that was the only thing.
Yes. But for Etihad and Man City, especially when we know at this point in time, when it gets to the ending of the league, April cometh, you see how strong Pep Guardiola and his team has been. and that has been always the time to Arteta and his team drop. Unfortunately for them, it has always been the case. It has not changed since he took over us now. April has always been a disaster, and unfortunately, we have 2 games more to play in April.
Interesting. So before we delve deep into the remaining fixtures for both clubs and analyze how all the 5 or 6 games will go for them, let me bring you an update on the current game going on between Burnley and Manchester City currently. And Manchester City already cruising to a win, and if that results remain the same, that means Manchester City will leapfrog Arsenal to go on top of the Premier League table. As we speak, it is 1-0 in favor of Manchester City. Erling brought Haaland scoring in the 5th minute to give City the lead in that particular game, and that changes the story entirely in the English Premier League as Manchester City goes on top of the Premier League currently. Let me take you through how the 2 teams have lined up so far in this particular game. So in post we have Donnarumma, the safest pair of hands for Manchester City. At right back we have Matheus Nunes, there is Kusanov in there, is Magid, and Ryan Art-Nouri is also playing at the left back position. Then in midfield he went for 2 midfielders. Remember, Rodri got injured in that Arsenal game, so he has been replaced by Nico O'Reilly. He's pairing with Bernardo Silva. Then when you talk about the front 4 leading the attack for Manchester City is Doku at the left hand side of attack, Antoine Semenyo at the right hand side, and then the number 10 position or the attacking midfield position Ryan Cherki, and it's up front it is Erling Haaland, who has already scored a goal in this particular game. And for Bournemouth there's Dubravka in post for them. Kyle Walker playing against his former team Manchester City is the captain of the side for Burnley. He's playing at the right back position. There's Bashir in there. There's Ekdal. There's Estival Maxime Estival playing in the centre back position. Then when we go to the midfield, there's Jadon Anthony. There's Josh Lauren. There's James Ward-Prowse. Lauren also playing in there, and also there is Zion Fleming, who is leading the lines for Burnley Football Club. Remember, Burnley themselves are fighting relegation. If they lose this game tonight, then it is confirmed that they have been relegated to the EFL Championship as it stands now, and City are still up by a goal. But then we'll be bringing you up to speed, regular updates on this particular game as the show moves on to when we leave the studio. But also there are other interesting games going on, not only in the English Premier League but also across other league centers in the world. Remember, there is the DFB Pokal final between FC Bayern Munich and also Bayer Leverkusen currently ongoing in there. So let me bring Bismarck here to. I just received a notification. I don't know whether City have scored again. Okay, interesting in there. So let me bring in Bismarck again. Director, if we can have the remaining fixtures for Arsenal on our screen. Let's first deal with that of Arsenal for now on our screen. So there we have it. So Arsenal will play Newcastle this coming weekend, and then that game will be at home at the Emirates Sports Stadium, and then Arsenal will play against Fulham again at the Emirates Sports Stadium. So at least they have 2 home games. We'll be coming to it later whether these games are winnable games. Then at the London Stadium, still in London, they'll play away from home at the London Stadium. West Ham United will host them in that particular game, and then they'll come back home and play against Burnley at the Emirates Sports Stadium, and finally they will crown their season at the Shellhurst Park, still in London, against Crystal Palace. On that day, looking at the results that will happen and everything, we will see whether that day will be a coronation day for Arsenal, or it will be a day of crying, or it will be the last day of Mikel Arteta. So that day we will really see what will happen there. So that's the games for you in there. But let's pick it 1-1. First of all, let's pick Arsenal versus Newcastle. Let's have a look at their head-to-head, how they fare against each other when they meet Newcastle versus or Arsenal versus Newcastle. So there we have it on our screen. This weekend, Arsenal play against Newcastle. So in their last 5 games, Arsenal have won 3, Newcastle have won 2. The last time they met, Arsenal beat them 2-1. That was the first leg of the Premiership of this season's Premier League. And before that, Arsenal beat them 3-2, and Arsenal have beaten them 1-0 in 2025. So that means in the last 3 games, Arsenal have won all their games against Newcastle. This is across all competition. And then Newcastle have won 2 of those games, beating Arsenal 2-0 and also Arsenal losing 3-0. Bismarck, let's pick this particular game. Now, let's assume that City goes on to win tonight's game against Burnley. They will have the same points as Arsenal.
Yes. Right?
Yes. Now, it will depend on goals, and it also depends on who loses their game as the games progresses. Arsenal play against Newcastle this weekend. Looking at their head-to-head, their form guide between these two teams. Remember, Newcastle in their last 5 or 6 games are yet to win a game. Arsenal also, I think in their last 2 in the Premiership are yet to win a game. They are chasing the title. Who do you think will win this particular game?
It's a tough game for both teams, especially with Newcastle, where they stand in the league right now. They want to show something. But unfortunately for them, the last 3 games in the Premier League, they've lost all.
Yeah.
Arsenal have lost the last 2.
Yeah.
That's Bournemouth and Man City.
Yeah.
But this is Arsenal playing at Etihad. Advantage to them. Newcastle have not
been the Emirates.
Emirates, yes, sorry. Newcastle have not been of great form. Likewise, Arsenal. But if you want to win the league, especially with Pep Guardiola hanging on your neck, this is a must-win game. The rest of the game, you play it like a final. And this is where I always say it is mentality more than tactics.
Okay.
It is mentality more than tactics. Do you really want to win the league? Because when it comes to tactics, Arteta is good, Eddie Howe is good. They are both struggling at the moment because their last 2, Arteta has lost. Last 3, Eddie Howe has been struggling for some time now, not just the last 3. So if you are playing against a team who has been struggling both home and away, this is the time for you to show that you are capable of challenging for the league. Because if you lose against Newcastle at the Emirates, the league is gone.
Yeah.
The league is completely gone. Because if
before you continue, between the 2 teams, who do you think has the more toughest games or difficult games?
Man City have the toughest game. Man City have more toughest game than Arsenal.
Okay.
If you compare the matches both teams have to play, Man City have more tough games. They have more difficult grounds to go compared to Arsenal.
Okay, we'll come to the City games very shortly.
So if Arsenal want to win the league, there is a must. The last 5 matches, it is final. Play it like a Champions League final. Because now you have one eye in 2 bottles. The Champions League and the league.
Yeah.
There is no reality, or I won't say reality, but the percentage of you winning the Champions League is not that high. If you compare the Champions League and the league, Arsenal winning the league is higher than winning the Champions League. Because you've not won the Champions League before. You've gone to finals how many times? Compared to you competing the league, that is in your hands. The Champions League is not in your hands. You losing the league is in your hands.
Yeah.
So you have a higher percentage of winning the league than the Champions League. So focus on the league. Try to beat Newcastle. It doesn't matter how you take the win, whether a 1-0, a 2-1, however you want to win. Now it goes back to the basis of where Arsenal started the whole season. The real problem of Arsenal has been chance creation. They are not creating enough chances to score goals. In the last couple of weeks, they are not creating enough chances.
Set piece
FC. As I said the last time, if teams catch you up with the way you score the set pieces, how are you going to score goals? Yes, when we started the league, you were scoring both set pieces and open play goals. Now the chances are not coming for you to score the open play goals. The set piece that you relied on so much, the goals are not coming. So what is your next move? Arteta has to find a way to score goals. You have attackers who can score. And one thing that I've realized this season for Arsenal is their wingers. Their wingers are not scoring. Martinelli, Trossard, Saka, they are all not scoring. And unfortunately for them, Saka, who can create something out of nothing, is injured. You can't rely on Martinelli and Noni Madueke and Trossard. Trossard on and off. You can't rely on him. Now everything now lies on Kai Havertz and Gyökeres. Eze has not been brilliant. He's only been brilliant against Tottenham Hotspur. Other teams, he doesn't create enough. Odegaard, who is your chance creator, has been on and off because of injuries. So, however you find a win at Emirates against Newcastle, find a win. If it is corners, forget whatever everyone will see. Get the corners, score the goals. If it is open play, score the goals.
At first, that's what Arsenal were doing. You people said they are not playing beautiful football. The way they are scoring is not nice. Now they are playing a beautiful football. By
Yes, as for the supporters and people, we will say it. You are not playing
people
beautiful
like
football.
Eric Owusu Finger. That's what he was saying.
Even myself, I was saying something.
Okay.
You are not playing beautiful football. We will say, but at this moment, you sit down as a team, Arteta and your team. Do you want to win the league or you want to play beautiful football?
Yeah.
However you want to win the league, win the league. It doesn't matter whether you play ugly. It doesn't matter. Now, even Pep Guardiola, right now, he doesn't care how he wins games. Whether you play beautiful or you play ugly. So far as you dig deep and get the win, he will do. And that's what Mikel Arteta should do. Dig deep, win. If it is 1-0, if it is 1-0, if it is 2-0, 2-1, no matter how hot you do, win the matches.
Okay.
You take every game at a time.
So give me a prediction for Arsenal Newcastle.
A 2-1 victory for Arsenal.
2-1 victory for Arsenal.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to their next game. And in their next game, they are playing against Fulham. They are London rivals when it comes to the English Premier League. So let's have the head-to-head between Arsenal and Fulham. That game will also be played at the Emirates Sports Stadium. So this is their last 5 games. In their last 5, Arsenal have won 2. 2 of those games have ended in a draw, whilst Fulham have won 1. So Fulham, so the last time they played, Arsenal beat Fulham by a goal to 0. And then they beat them by 2-1, went on to draw 1-1 in the other game. Then Fulham also beat them 2-1 before the last game ended in a draw. Fulham themselves have not been consistent this particular season when it comes to the English Premier League. Again, Arsenal are chasing for the title for at least 3 consecutive occasions in the English Premier League. Bismarck. This a London derby, one of the London derbies, of the numerous derbies. They play against Fulham at home. Can Fulham spoil the party for Arsenal? If, let's say, in their previous game, Arsenal goes on to beat Newcastle, as we are predicting.
If there is a team in the last pictures that can spoil Arsenal party, Fulham is one of them.
Okay.
They may not necessarily win, but they will pull up a draw.
Why so?
They are a team that is difficult to beat, especially with Arsenal playing against them. They give
Arsenal playing at home.
Yes, but they give Arsenal a tough time every time Arsenal played. Even if Arsenal wins them, they dig deep to win. They will create. Fulham will also create. They defend so well. With Fulham, they play as a unit. They defend together. They attack together. Yeah. They have good players. Harry Wilson. They have Andres Pereira. They have quality players who can torment you and worry you at any point in time in the game. Arsenal can win the game, but it is not 100% sure they will win. I see this game either a 1-0 for Arsenal or a draw. Because I don't see Arsenal scoring too many goals in this game. Because this league, if Arsenal can also win, they need to score more goals. Because it can come to a point where Arsenal and Man City will get the same points, and they will need to settle the score with goals scored.
Yeah.
Just like it happened to Manchester United.
Yeah, Manchester United and
Man City. And that's the same thing that can happen. So Arsenal need to score more goals. If you don't score more goals, problem. But I don't see Arsenal scoring more goals against Fulham. It's either a slim margin or a draw. Fulham can cause an upset against Arsenal at Emirates. And that is one thing Arteta and his boys should make sure it doesn't happen. However that you have to do, however that you have to get a win, every game is a final in the last fixture. But I see a draw in this game.
Okay, so Bismarck is seeing a draw in that game between Arsenal and also Fulham. Let's move on to their next game. Let's have Arsenal versus West Ham on our screen. Another London rivals. Let's have a look at their last head-to-head and how they are faring so far when it comes to the English Premier League. So West Ham versus Arsenal. Let's have it on our screen. Let's have. Remember, Arsenal, West Ham themselves are also in a way fighting relegation, whether they can survive in the Premier League. So there we have it on our screens. In their last 5 games, West Ham have won 2, Arsenal have won 3, and none of those games have ended in a draw. The last time they met, Arsenal beat West Ham by 2-0. Before that, West Ham won that game. Then before that game where West Ham won, Arsenal went on rampant form. They beat West Ham 5-2 and then beat West Ham 6-0, all at the London Stadium. So that's how the head-to-head is looking like. But before I come back to Bismarck in the studio, let's also have Arsenal versus Burnley. Let's have a look at all of the remaining games for Arsenal. Then we come back to this. So there we have it. So after West Ham, Arsenal play against Burnley this time around at the Emirates Sports Stadium. And there's their last 5 games. Arsenal have won 4 of those last 5 games. 1 have ended in the draw. Burnley are yet to win in any of those games. So as you can see, all the greens in there for Arsenal between Burnley Football Club. Only 1 of those games have ended in a draw. Let's have that of Crystal Palace versus Arsenal, and that will be the title crowning day of the English Premier League, last games of the rounds. So there we have it on our screen. So Crystal Palace versus Arsenal Arsenal Football Club. So in the last 5, Arsenal have 4 wins. None of those games, I think one has ended in a draw. Crystal Palace are yet to win any of those particular games. So there we have it on our screen. So let me come back to Bismarck. You've seen the rest of the last 3 games that Arsenal will play in there. They'll play against Burnley, play against Crystal Palace, and also play against West Ham. At least, depending on what happens in the first 2 games. If Arsenal should win their last 3 games, or let's say even if City slips in their 3rd game or even in their 2nd games, considering these games that are left for Arsenal, their last 3 games, can they go on to win these games to be crowned champions?
Oh, it's a tricky question because I think the last 3 games, the trickiest of them will be the West Ham game at London Stadium.
Okay.
Because they are also trying to avoid relegation. And when the team is wounded, they come in harder, especially at their own stadium.
Yeah.
And when you look at the last 5 fixtures, at the London Stadium, Arsenal has been dominant.
Yeah.
At the London Stadium, 5-2 and 6-0. They've been dominant. But will it be the same story? Not necessarily. Because especially right now, West Ham are trying everything possible to get out of relegation zone. They are trying to survive. And when the team is trying to survive and you don't pull out your best, you get wounded by them. And this is a West Ham team that you can't take anything away from them. They have the Matheus Fernandes, they have the Jared Bowens, they have a very good squad. Yeah. Just that things have not been great for them this season. But you can't take anything away from them when you go to the London Stadium. With them fighting a relegation, trying to survive in the league, if Arsenal are able to beat West Ham at London Stadium, they will beat Burnley, they will beat Crystal Palace.
Interesting. So for you, the trickiest games for Arsenal is Fulham versus Fulham and West Ham. If they're able to win these 2 games,
yes, they are good to go.
They are good to go.
They are
depending
on
the
goal scored and what will happen with Manchester City. Yes.
All right. So talking about what will happen to Manchester City, we will come back to have the remaining fixtures of Manchester City and see whether they will be able to win those games depending on their form and also their head-to-head with this particular team. So you go for a break. When we come back, we do that of Manchester City. Remember, we also do that of Liam Rosenier and also the struggles of Tottenham Hotspur, whether they will be going to relegation. That will be a big story in there. Remember, this show is powered by Betway. They are saying that share your codes with your friends, fans and followers. If you do so, you earn 4% of their wager. It doesn't matter whether they lose that particular slip or not. We go for a breather. When we come back, we continue with the show. Stay tuned.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Magic pepper and onion, a delicious tomato mix with tomato, pepper and onion. No grinding, no blending. Ya yenina da da da. So pa mediane no abe.
Come on, Gino, do your magic.
And papa no kunu abefi.
Tasty magic.
Gino Magic Pepper and Onion. The magic that brings them home.
This advert is FDA approved.
This week's been wild. New releases dropping, artists blowing up, moments going crazy on the timeline. Don't worry, we've got you.
We pull the highlights, the dates, the event, everything you need to know, and then the real fun starts.
The official top 10 songs running the streets, the airwaves, and your playlists.
If the culture is talking about it, we are counting it down.
This is the rundown.
Imagine a sport without rules, a game without passion, an arena without chance. What drives the champions? What fuels the rivalry? What separates the winners from the rest in the world of sports?
Eugene Soti, your chief data guy on the Talking Point. On the African Tracker, I'll break down the performance of your favorite African players abroad, scrutinizing every detail and exploring the nuances and rules governing the game.
Meet us in your area for Area Take as we plug into sports perspective and hear your thoughts on every play of the game.
I'm James Makion, your go-to expert for everything local. I'll review the fixtures from the locker room to the pitch and from the management to the fans. I've got you covered.
Oh la la! Don't miss out on the double excitement. It's a fun pack, pulsating and complete wrap of everything in sports, from boxing to football, tennis, NBA and more. Sports World on ABC as every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Sports World on ABC. Sports beyond borders.
Welcome back from the break. We are watching Sports World and on ABC News GH. My name is James Ohinba Makion. I have Best Mark and Ponsa here with me, who is helping me delve deep into the issues. And if you just joined up, you've not missed much. We are analyzing the remaining fixtures of Arsenal Football Club and also Manchester City in their quest to win the English Premier League trophy. We are done with that of Arsenal. We are yet to delve deep into that of Manchester City and also look at the other topics. Remember, there is a game going on in the English Premier League. It's Manchester City versus Burnley Football Club. Manchester City are up by a goal to nil. Kind courtesy that goal from Erling Haaland in the 5th minute. So we'll bring you up to speed with that particular game as it continues. But I still have here with me Bismarck and Ponsa. Now let's move on to the Manchester City game they will play. Let's have the first game of Manchester City on our screens, the first head-to-head on our screen. Let's have it and see how they are going. Or let's have the remaining games of my. So there we have it. So Everton. So after they play Burnley tonight, their next game is against Everton at Everton's new stadium. But in their last 5 games, Manchester City have won 4. Manchester City have won 4 of those games. One has ended in a draw. The last time they met, City won that game by 2-0. The last 2 times they also met was 2-0 until that 1-1 draw that Everton pulled at Etihad Stadium. Then City also beat them 2-0. So That's an interesting one in there. So City Everton, good. Everton at home this season have been very good. Teams have found it very difficult to go there and win. And at this point that Chelsea, I said Chelsea non bear them. At this point that City, yeah, cat title race at Chelsea bear them. At this point that City want to win the league, they are facing Everton next. Do you think that they can go on to win the game?
At the Hill Dickinson Sports Stadium, I think it's Everton has done brilliantly this season, especially at their stadium, Hill Dickinson. They've done well. They are one of the few teams that is very hard to break them at their stadium. But then this is a Man City team who wants to win the league, led by a coach who has won it all when it comes to the Premier League. Sorry. With the coaches that is currently coaching the Premier League, none of the coaches know how to win the Premier League more than Pep Guardiola.
Well, yeah.
None of the coaches know how to win the league more than Pep Guardiola. And this is a coach who can want to win all the matches left. When he says he will do it, you don't doubt him because he's done it before. It won't be the first. And with Everton, yes, they are playing well, but anytime they face Man City, they don't really get to beat Man City. And that has been their issue. They don't find a way to beat them. So if you look at the last 5 matches, they've drawn only 1. They've lost 4. Either at home or away. Yeah. So it tells you how strong Man City is when they are coming up against Everton. And I'm not expecting an easy game for Man City going into this game because Everton also can play in Europe next season.
Yeah, definitely.
They are also trying to win matches so that they can play in Europe, either in Europa League or the Conference League. Because at the position that they are in right now, they have every possible ability to play in Europe. So they will go into the game very hard. But I don't think City won't find a way to beat this Everton team. They are beatable. This Everton team is beatable. They will come in strong. They will be resilient. But with Ryan Cherky, Erling Haaland, Semenyo, the young chap Nico O'Reilly, coached by Pep Guardiola, I think they will find a way possible to win this game at Hill Dickinson Sports Stadium. Interesting
one in there. So that's a win for Manchester City in that game against Everton. So we are doing all the permutations in there to see how things will go and to see who will win the Premier League table. So let's assume they beat Burnley tonight, going to beat Everton. They still remain on top of them, depending on the goals that they score and also the goals that Arsenal will also score in those games. That will be interesting because as we speak, City are leading the table because they have more goals difference, and prior to this game they had a lot of goal difference than Arsenal. Yes, 37 goals. Yes, so yeah. So depending on, so it's just a point difference. A goal difference now. A goal difference now. So depending on who scores a lot of goals, and let's state it for a fact to our viewers that if Manchester City wins tonight and they go on to win all their games, and also because they have the same points, and also Arsenal also go on to win all their games, they will be tied at 85 points. 85 points. Now it will be down to the number of goals that have been scored, or the goal difference. Not the number of goals, the goal difference. The goal difference is the number of goals you have scored minus the goals that you have conceded. That will give you the goal difference. So they will use that to adjudge the best team of the season. That is why every goal is important in this running or in this title race for these two clubs. So let's see how it goes there. Let's move on to the next game for Manchester City. In there, we've seen that of Everton vs Man City. Let's move on to their next game in there. Let's have it on our screens and let's see how they will fare in that particular game in there. I'm trying to get the game for you. So there we have it. So their next game, they will play against Brentford. Manchester City versus Brentford at the Etihad Sports Stadium. Manchester City in those games, in their last 5, have won 4, as you can see on the screen. Brentford are yet to win. One of those games have ended in the draw. So at the Etihad Stadium, even in all competitions, City are here to lose a game in that particular one. It's a win for City, right? Brentford.
Yes, a win for City. But before I come to that, with the Arsenal and Man City permutation, I just checked and the goal difference is the same, 37-37.
Yeah.
So
okay, Arsenal were leading, and now City have scored. Yeah.
City is leading the league table because of head-to-head.
Yeah, head-to-head now.
Because of head-to-head, they won.
Because they are on the same goals.
They're the same goals. They are leading because they beat Arsenal 2-1. That is why they are leading the table. And they drew at the Emirates.
And I tell you, Pep can be so petty that he will just look at the games of Arsenal. If Arsenal score one, he also going to score one. They'll miss the rest of the chances because they are head to head. And that will be the. I've never seen. Well, I don't know, but I've never seen a league title being won based on head to head. I know for goals.
For goals,
City
yes. I've also. I don't think I've seen head to head. I've seen goals.
And that will be the toughest way or the painful way to win a league title.
Will it be a punishment?
It will be very, very painful. Yes, but
yes,
let's go. So let's talk about the Brentford City game.
It's definitely a win, especially at Emirates. It's definitely a win for City. Well, Brentford is also trying to play in Europe. Currently, their next game is against Manchester United at Old Trafford. So if they pull up a win against United, it gives them a chance in Europe. Because if they win at Old Trafford and they are able to win the other games, they can also play in Europe. But then you are going up against a Man City team who wants to win a league, and you've not sided well with them in your last previous matches, especially when you go to the Etihad. You struggle to win at Etihad, and I don't think Pep Guardiola and his men will just stand at the Etihad and just say Brentford should come and score them or come and take a draw when they know there's a league to win. It is in football, everything is possible, but the percentage of City drawing or losing that game is very slim. I see a Man City winning this game as well. So the next two games, they are against Brentford. They are winning at Emirates. They win at Etihad. I don't see them losing. It's just going to be very, very, very difficult for Brentford to beat them at the Etihad right now. They are on fire. It is April. It is getting to the end of the season. City will dig deep, however possible that they have to. If you look at their games against Brentford at the Emirates, 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, they don't score as many goals as City we know them to be, but they are not going to lose either. They are going to beat Brentford at the Emirates, at the Etihad, and it's going to be a 2 straight win in the next two games. And Arsenal, you will see how they will do in also their next two games.
Interesting there. So that is Manchester City versus Brentford, an easy win for Manchester City there. I agree with Bismarck on this particular one. It should be an easy win for Manchester City. Now let's move on to their next game. Who are they facing in their next game? Is this going to be a difficult game or is it going to be an easy game? And where are they playing it? Are they playing at the Etihad or they are playing it away from us? So let's have the next game of Manchester City on our screen. So yes, AFC Bournemouth against Manchester City at the Vitality Stadium. It is Manchester City that have gone on to win 4 of their last 4 games, whilst Bournemouth has won 1. The last time they met, that is in the first round of the English Premier League. City beat them by 3-1 at the Etihad. Again, still at the Etihad, they beat them by the same scoreline until the last time that the two sides met at the Vitality Stadium. Manchester City also won that particular game, but before that game at the Vitality Stadium again, Bournemouth beat them by 2-1, and also City winning their other game by 1-0. And I know the Vitality Stadium is a very difficult grounds to play. A lot of connoisseurs and pundits have predicted that this is going to be City's toughest game in their route or in their quest to win the English Premier League title. Bismarck, do you believe with those people that this is City's toughest game in their last 5 games.
I agree with anyone who says that this is the toughest game.
Why?
Because
is it because Bournemouth beat Arsenal 2-2?
No, because
then give us the reason.
So this is the most difficult game for Man City to me and to many people because of the form currently Bournemouth is in.
Okay.
Currently they've gone about 12 games unbeaten.
Interesting.
And they are playing a very good football. And at the Vitality Stadium, they don't care who you are. And if you look at the Vitality Stadium, it's not as big as you see the Old Trafford or the Emirates or the Etihad. So they are able to play the football that they like. And they have the men to do the job. Andoni Areola is doing very well for Bournemouth. Looking at this season, where they started, when they started the season, there was a bit of inconsistency here and there in their games. People even thought like they were going to struggle. But we've seen them come up in the last 12 games. They've been brilliant. Whether at home or at away, they've been brilliant. They are playing an exciting football. They capitalize on every single mistake that you do. And if you look at the Bournemouth team, if you check their core, their back line, Senesi, if you check their midfield, if you check their attack, Ivan Nelson and co, the Scott Adams, they have the men to do the job. Now look at the City team. In the course of the 90 minutes, when they are playing, Nico O'Reilly drifts from the left back to midfield, then to attack. That is how they operate now. Yeah. Nico O'Reilly doesn't stand at a place.
Yeah.
He's mobile. He will take around the core of the.
I think tonight he's playing differently.
Today he's playing as a midfielder. He's playing alongside Bernardo Silva in midfield.
He's playing at the left back.
At the left back, yes. So in recent matches, he starts on paper. He starts as a left back, but on the field he doesn't play as a left back. He moves in from midfield. He moves into attack to join Erling Haaland at the attack.
Yeah, as a number 10.
As a number 10. And if you look at the Bournemouth games that they've played, especially if you look at how they played against Arsenal, if you are playing against them and you take one defender out of your defense, your defensive shape, and it's left with Mark Gay and Kusanov and Matheus Nunes, which automatically, sometimes Bernardo Silva shift in, you are likely to concede. This is a Bournemouth team who scores in almost every game. They score goals.
Yeah.
In their midfield, they have technicians as well. They can go to Adam Scott and they can go to toe with any midfielder. These are the midfielders who went toe to toe with Declan Rice and Zubimendi. They can go toe to toe with any team, any players on the pitch. Ivan Nielsen, Ryan. They also have another young chap in Ryan, a left-footed player, a winger who is very deadly. He cuts in just like Ryan Cherki is for Man City. So if you leave Nico O'Reilly to rotate out of on the pitch and he leaves the defensive shape of the Man City, this Ryan guy can take advantage of it. And this is where they are deadly. When your defensive shape is not structured well, they take advantage. And they also move in spaces, just like Man City moves in spaces. And that is how they won against us now. They go behind your center backs and your defensive midfielders, the spaces that they leave behind. They go behind it and take advantage of that. And if you leave that spaces, because watching Arsenal versus Man City, there were a lot of spaces that Arsenal could have exploited in that game that they didn't. If you do that against Bournemouth, this Bournemouth team, they will exploit it and they will punish you. So this is why most pointers think this is Man City's toughest game. It may not necessarily be the biggest game, because I think their biggest game will be against Aston Villa. But against Bournemouth will be the toughest game. Bournemouth will give them more tough game than I think Aston Villa will give them. Because their defensive shape, they are very good. Their midfield is very good. And their attack is also sharp. They score goals. But believe you me, I know Pep Guardiola will definitely find a way. I don't think he will lose this game. I think the worst that could happen will be a draw.
All right. Interesting. So you don't think Guardiola will lose this game?
I don't think he will lose this game. The worst that will happen will be a draw.
All right. So let's move on to the next game. Let's have the two games on our screen before I come back to Bismarck. So let's move on to Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. That will be their last but one game before the season ends. And then this Villa versus. Okay, let's do the Villa, but I think the Villa game will be their last game of the season. Let's have that of City and Crystal Palace. Yes, let's have that of City and Crystal Palace before we come to the Aston Villa and also Manchester City. So if you can hear me, let's quickly do Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. Let's do Manchester City versus Crystal Palace first before we move on to the Aston Villa one. So there we have it on us. In their last 3 games, City have won. In their last 5, City have won 3. They've lost 1 and they've drawn 1. In the first leg, City went to the Selhurst Park to beat them by 3-0. Last season, Crystal Palace beat City by 1-0 at the Selhurst Park again. So in the last 2 meetings at the Selhurst Park, one has gone in favor of Palace, one have gone in favor of City. Then City beat them 5-2 at the Etihad some time ago. They drew 2-2. Then City also won 4-2. Let's have that of Aston Villa again on our screen. Let's have that of Aston Villa. That's their final game of the season. So there we have it. In their last 5 games, Villa have lost 3. City in their last 5 games, Aston Villa have gone on to win 3 of those games. Yes, 3 of those games. City have won 2. So among all the teams that City are winning, it's only Aston Villa that have a better head-to-head against City in there. So in their last meeting, Villa beat City by a goal at the Villa Park at the Etihad Stadium. City, that was in previous season. City beat them by 2-1 at Villa Park. City won a game by 2-1. So it means at Villa Park, City are not able to beat Arsenal. But fortunately for Guardiola and his men, this last game of the season will be played at the Etihad Sports Stadium, where normally they have the advantage in there. So best mark the last 2 games: Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. That's the last 2 games for them, and for the fact, and especially for the fact that if they are on top of the table, these are crucial games for them to go on to win the title. Is it possible?
Yes, and especially when in these last 2 games they are playing at the Etihad. When City are playing at the Etihad, it's very unlikely for them to lose at the Etihad, especially when they are on top of the league and they want to win the league.
Yeah.
If it is at Selhurst Park, you say everything can happen, because that's the strongest part of where Crystal Palace can be. Crystal Palace has not been great this season. They've been on and off. So I don't think City will sit at the Etihad and lose this game against Crystal Palace. I think City will definitely come in stronger, and with Crystal Palace, I don't think it will be really a tough game. That I don't see it as a tough game. I see City winning. But one thing that I know will be very, very important and very difficult for City will be the Aston Villa game, depending on the last 4 results or the last 4 games. The Aston Villa game, depending on the last 4 games, that will be the toughest. I said Bournemouth will be the toughest, but depending on the last 4 games, that what will happen? Because Aston Villa has 58 points, 4th on the league table. They want to play in the Champions League. Liverpool is 5th with 55 points. That's 3 points just behind. 55 points. That's 3 points just behind. The next team that is also on the seas is Bournemouth. They are 50 points. And in the last 4 games, anything can happen.
Yeah.
A team that is 4th with 58 points can lose the Champions League spots. So depending on the last 4 games before the Man City game, if Aston Villa has qualified for the Champions League, City will find it easy to win. But if they have not cemented their position in the Champions League, they want to qualify for the Champions League, it will be the toughest game, more than the Bournemouth game. So City should pray that before they play Aston Villa at the Etihad, Aston Villa has automatically qualified for Champions League. But one good thing is, when it comes to the Etihad, City find its ways to beat Aston Villa.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Etihad, they find its way to beat Aston Villa. It's not like they're going to a Villa Park. When they sit at home, they find their way to beat them. And that is the good thing about City sitting at home in the last 2 games.
Okay.
They will find a way to win the last 2 games. But in football, you can never say never.
Right.
If Aston Villa are not on course and automatically not qualify for the Champions League, they can cause an upset. But if they've automatically qualified for the Champions League, it will be difficult for them to beat City at Etihad.
Interesting in there, but who do you think at the end of all of these games is winning the Premier League? Depending, looking at the analysis we've done and also the remaining games.
So, in these 2 teams, Man City and Aston Villa, someone can stand somewhere and sit there and beat his chest that City can go on and win all these 5 games. But can the person sit and boast his chest that Arsenal will win the next 5 games? That's the story.
Okay. That's the difference.
That's the difference. If Arsenal can go on and win the next 5 games, they can win the league. But can they win the next 5 games?
That's the question.
That's the question. And that's the question Arteta needs to solve. As I said, the last 5 games is more of mentality than tactical. When they lost to Man City at Etihad, there's one thing that I saw and I really liked, and that was Declan Rice. When the match ended, almost all the Arsenal players they've given up. But here is a player who was telling his players, we are not done.
Yeah.
We are not done. It is left with 5 more games to go. We are not done. So we are not done. Can Arteta tell his players that yes, indeed, we are not done? We need to win every game possible that there is. We need to pick the necessary 3 points that there is in the next 5 games. Can he give them this mentality? Because as though the players may have the mentality, does the coach have that mentality to instill that in the players? Yeah. That is the most important thing. As I said, it is more of mentality than tactical in the next 5 games.
All right, so it will boil down to the mentality more than tactics when it comes to whoever is winning the Premier League. Let me take you through some of the results that are currently ongoing. So in the Spanish La Liga, earlier today, Elche beat Atletico Madrid by 3-2. Interesting results in the Thiago Almada having a red card in that particular game. PSG also beat Nantes by 3-0 in the French league. Currently, there is a game between Real Sociedad and Getafe. Sociedad won the Copa del Rey, but they have been beaten by Getafe by a goal. That game, they played 94 minutes. The referee will blow his whistle to end the game very soon. And then in the DFB Pokal, it is FC Bayern Munich that are up by a goal to nil at the Bayer Arena. Harry Kane scoring the 22nd minute to give the Bavarians the lead in that particular game. They've just played 52 minutes. In the English Premier League, currently, it is 0-0 between Bournemouth and Leeds United at the Vitality Stadium. It is halftime, whilst that game between Burnley and Manchester City also ended 1-0 in the first 45 minutes. Erling Haaland scoring the 5th minute, and also that game is halftime. It's also 0-0 in the Coppa Italia between Atlanta and Lazio. Then in the La Liga, that is the round of 33. It is FC Barcelona that is playing against Celta Vigo. 26 minutes played so far. Barcelona are drawing that particular game. It's still goalless, 0-0 between them and Celta Vigo. Now let's move on to the bottom of the Premier League, and it is the relegation battle. Already we know that Wolverhampton Wanderers have been relegated. It has been confirmed from the English Premier League. Burnley may be on their way to relegation, especially if they lose this game against Manchester City. Then it will be confirmed. Now the teams fighting for survival this particular season is Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham United, and also Nottingham Forest. Let me try and get how the table is looking like in the bottom of the English Premier League. We all know that for Tottenham Hotspur, they are currently 18th on the log with 31 points. West Ham are 17th with 33 points. Nottingham Forest are 16th with 36 points. It's just 3 points between West Ham and Nottingham Forest, whilst Tottenham, who are in the relegation zone already, have 31 points. Besma, quickly, among these 3 teams, who do you think will join Burnley and Wolves to go on relegation? Tottenham, West Ham, Forest.
Tottenham, West Ham, Forest.
Yeah. Who could have thought that Tottenham, West Ham would be fighting?
Exactly. Tottenham, West Ham, Nottingham Forest. You know, the most important thing is the matches left for the three teams, and I think Tottenham have some difficult games to play.
Let me check.
That is what scares me the most, because even against the mid-table club that you think that they will survive it, they are not surviving. How much more the toughest games?
So let's talk about Spurs. Let's talk about Spurs for now. What is their struggle? What is their problem? They've sacked 2 coaches already. They've brought in Roberto De Zerbi. He has failed to win a game. We saw him consoling the players in their last 2 games. Some of them were crying. What is the problem now? And how should they go about it?
So Tottenham problem is not the players. No, it's not about players. It's not about coach. It goes beyond just players and coach.
So
I think it's a structural problem.
From the structure is bad.
The structure is bad. From the top to the bottom, everything has been poorly managed. It just reminds me of how Manchester United was at a point. And this is exactly what Tottenham is turning into. When Ferguson was going, I'm trying to just propose something. When Ferguson was going, and he gave Manchester United, you know, they gave him the permission to select his heir, and he selected David Moyes. And that was the end, or that was the beginning and the end of everything for Manchester United. And they didn't have a structure with the Glazers, a team that didn't have technical directors, football directors, nothing. So the structure was very poor, and it showed on the pitch. And that's exactly what Tottenham is now. Since Daniel Levy left and a new CEO took over, you know, Daniel Levy has been, he was the CEO for a very long time. He managed the club. They played in the Champions League final. They've won the Europa League. They competed in the league, though they didn't. There was no winning. They played in the FA Cup finals and everything. So it is more like he was the backbone of everything that was going on at Tottenham Hotspur, and he left a huge vacuum, a huge shoe to be filled. Since he left, they brought in the technical director. They sacked him. They brought in how many coaches?
They brought in Thomas Frank. Then they brought in who was even their last coach? Igor Tudor came. They brought in Roberto De Zerbi.
3 coaches
in a season.
And Roberto De Zerbi is also not finding it easy either.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me 3 coaches, they are not finding it easy, and you're telling me it's the players. No, it is the system, the structural system. So
in their next fixture, they play Wolves, they play Aston Villa, they play Leeds United, then they play Chelsea and Everton.
You see, they have among all the teams, the 3 teams they have the toughest games. Against Wolves, you can say they can win.
Yeah.
Even though
they can win, but depending on the results of West Ham and West Ham.
Against Leeds, it's a tough
game. Villa,
very tough game.
Chelsea
have been beating them even in their prime. Chelsea have
maybe if
beating
Liam
them.
Was there, they would have beaten Liam to stay.
That's another point.
Yeah, but Liam is not.
Liam is gone now. Phelan is not.
Finally, Everton.
So these are difficult games, and if things are not careful.
And out of these 5 games, they are just playing 2 home games.
2 home games.
Leeds
and even Everton. This season, their home games they have been poor. Tottenham have been poor at home this season.
I see.
They've been poor at home this season. They've lost most of the games at home. So it is difficult even playing at home for them than playing at away. So imagine you've not been doing well at home, you've not been doing well at away. And you are playing Chelsea, you are playing Leeds, you are playing Aston Villa, you are playing Everton. And these are difficult games for you to play. De Zerbi, I don't think he will do any magic, honestly. He's not a magician. The structure has already been broken.
So are they going down to the championship?
I see for now. It depends on how West Ham take over. And I think not between the 3, Nottingham has the highest of survivor there.
At least.
But between them and West Ham, I think West Ham have more instincts of winning games than Tottenham at this point.
Yeah, even for West Ham, a lot of things have changed. The way they play has changed a lot.
I think they have the higher. They have more to win game. They are more hungrier to win games than Spurs. And it will be very, very, very unfortunate to see Spurs going down the drain in the championship.
Let's see how it will go for them.
But I'll be happy if they go into champions because.
Oh, I'll be. I mean, I said I'll be.
Because it will be easier for it will because you are rival. But it's easier for me for us to get Pedro Porro.
We accept.
Easier for us to get Pedro Porro.
Now let's talk about another team that is struggling. From Spurs, let's talk about another team that is struggling in the English Premier League. It is Chelsea Football Club. They are winless in their last 5 games in the English Premier League. They are yet to even score a goal, common goal, offside goal. They've not scored. They've not even hit the post. Chelsea Football.
They hit the post. Oh. They hit the post against that. They only hit 2.
But was it a goal?
It's a goal. So
they scored one offside goal. Liam Delap last week. They scored an offside goal. But they are yet to score a legitimate goal in 5 games. So let's say the whole of March, from March up to now, Chelsea have won only 1 game. From March up to now, 1 game, 3 points. There you have it on your screens. 1 win. If you are doing that on a table form, they are 16th. They have 3 points since March. Win percentage, 22%. 11 goals conceded. They've played 91 shots. None of them have entered the net. How can you tell me the story? 91 shots. Bahokran to Atinemu, Chelsea Football Club. So based on this performance, Liam Rosenier this afternoon have been sacked by the hierarchy of Chelsea Football Club. He signed a 6-year contract, but only 4 months into the contract, he has been shown the exit door for poor performance. Let's have a look at Chelsea's losses. The games or those games that they lost. So they lost 1-0 against Newcastle. Everton beat them 3-0 at home, and then they lost 3-0 to Manchester City. Then over the weekend, Manchester United beat them by a goal. Then Brighton and Hove Albion did a light work of them yesterday at the Amex Stadium by beating them by 3-0. So Liam is a goner. At least you have Obeji Kakrawashan, 20 million pounds with the Obeji for compensation. But Chelsea currently, McFarlane is taking over as the interim head coach till June. Chelsea, Bismarck, were you surprised when you heard the news? I was a bit surprised. Well, I thought maybe yes, they'll keep him because they said he is a project manager, 6 years contract. I thought they'll keep him. Were you surprised when you heard he has been sacked? And who do you think after June they should go in for?
Well, surprised that he has been sacked. Yes, I will say I was surprised. But from after yesterday's game, the sack was imminent. After yesterday's game, the sack was imminent because you could see that there's an issue between the players and the coach. Yeah. There's a disjoint between the players and the coach. Some of the players are for the coach. Some of the players are not for the coach. Kopama, James, they are for the coach because Kopama has clearly stated that they should give the coach more time than the last time. But some of the senior players, Cucurella, Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, they are clearly not for the coach. And this is a place you are there.
For Enzo, because of what the coach did to him. So
yes, and some of the players were supporting him. Was in support of before the Man City game, some of the players went to the coach that regardless of what Enzo has done, playing against Man City, the coach said no. Yeah. So some of the players, they are not in for the coach. But allow me to do this.
Okay.
So next season,
hey, what are you doing?
We are not going to hear "We are the champions"
for Chelsea. Even the Europa League
champions at the Stamford Bridge. There will be the symmetry. They will be the Manchester United of next season. Oh, allow me.
What do we got in a few 2 years, 6 months?
It's
because we are not playing in Europe. When we are playing Champions League, we are home.
Let me give you an instance. We are not playing. There's no Champions League this weekend from the. Do you know the game you are playing on Monday?
If you stayed home for you stayed home for 2 years without playing.
We played against Chelsea. Chelsea will play. I think tomorrow they will play again on the weekend. We are playing Monday. Why? How is our match on Monday?
You are
the most important team. So, Chelsea, you will not be hearing we are the champions of Stamford Bridge. That makes me happy.
Okay.
But all jokes aside,
okay,
I think Liam Rosinia, the sacking was imminent. First and foremost, what was that appointment for? The Liam Rosinia appointment.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a bit surprised it was sad because I thought after Maresca left, they are bringing a coach who will gradually build, give at least. But Charlie, at this point, 6 years contract, 4 months into the contract. Yes, we know if we get the Opta stats on our screen, we'll see that since 1912, Chelsea are yet to score a goal. For the fact that Chelsea are yet to score a goal in 5 consecutive games, that record happened in 1912. I'm not sure your grandfather was even born.
No. That was the Titanic thing.
Or even your great grandfather was born. So that's how bad it was for Liam Rosinia.
So I think it all started from every no matter how good you are, when you have issues with some of the core players, it begins to show on the pitch. And Liam Rosinia, he was coming to fill in a shoe that was loved by the fans and the players. Enzo Maresca was loved by the players. Because most of the players didn't understand why he was sacked. All because he demanded for players to be signed for him. He thought his defense was not good enough. And Bluco didn't see the reasons why he should demand for a signing of defenders. Now let's take the whole Chelsea into perspective. Since they came, they've spent over 2 billion
on players
alone. Let's take the Chelsea team. Goalkeeper
Sanchez,
Robert Sanchez,
Jorgensen
in the top, and Jorgensen in the top teams of the Premier League. Which team would they start?
Wolves.
I'm saying the top team. I didn't say in the
top team.
He's not. Will he start at Arsenal? No. Will he start at City? No. Will he start at
United?
No. He will start. He's not better than Amis. Will he start at Aston Villa? He's not better than me.
He's better than Onana.
Onana is on par. He's not even on par. Will he start at Aston Villa? No. Will he start at Liverpool when Alisson is there? No. Now let's look at their defense. Their centre backs especially. Jaro Hato. Which of the top teams will he gain as a starter when all their defense are back? Fofana, on and off. He has not justified the 70 million pounds that he was used to.
Left back Marco Correa.
Even their centre back. Tosin Adarabioyo.
No, Uncle Tosin there is not in the equation.
Who will he start?
Don't mention his name. Don't mention Uncle Tosin's name.
With their laterals, they are good to go.
You have James, you have Cucurella. Malo Gusto
is very good backup.
Offensive, yeah.
They don't even have a better leg backup. Now, their midfield, they are okay with Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez. Now their backups to the
Andre Santos. Romeo
Lavia cannot be fit for 5 games. He has to get injured.
To their wings.
Pedro Neto. Last season was brilliant. This season has been a shamble. A shadow of himself. He can't even score. Kopama. This season, he's not himself. Not even season. I think from beginning of last season to this
the end of the season.
He's not even. We've not seen the Kopama that we used to know.
The Palmer is why the club World Cup.
That's it. And that's one myth people say. Palmer at the Club World Cup was just 2 games that he played.
Yeah, that's even true. But even the 2 games, he
showed up. But this season, he has not showed up.
Yeah, at the left wing, Garnacho. Why you laughing? Isn't he your former player?
Baby see you. At the left wing, they have Baby see you.
I see Baby see you.
Baby see you. He has an ego of Cristiano Ronaldo by playing like Obertan.
Hey, Charlie. He dey talk.
That's the truth. Garnacho has the ego of his. I was listening to former
somebody.
United.
This comment you made, somebody the bed, you made a person turn up.
He has an ego of Cristiano Ronaldo and plays like Obertan. That's the truth.
Let's move on. You Wasan.
Nicky Batts, the United Academy coach, he said something that he saw Garnacho coming through the ranks. He has the confidence of a good player. But sometimes he needs to sit down that he's not up there. He has not reached the level that he thinks he is. And I don't blame him. It is not the fans that will make him who he thinks he is. They hype him to the extent that he thought he has reached when you've not reached.
There's also
now,
Gittins.
There's Gittins. How much did you buy the things? What has been his impact? Zero. So at the wings, left wings, you have both Garnacho and
sometimes Neto goes to play there.
Goes to play there. Sometimes Enzo Fernandez goes to play there.
Then up from there, João Pedro.
There's João Pedro, who has been fantastic this season. And there's a striker who can't even score.
Oh, a show offside goal.
The whole of this season, he has scored 3 goals.
So Jackson and him, who is better?
Jackson is far better than.
I was having this argument with a friend on Sunday.
He's far better.
They leaving Jackson to go and bringing Liam was wrong.
Jackson can hold up play.
Jackson was their top scorer in the first season.
Jackson can hold up play. Jackson can dribble. Jackson can play a pass. The lad can't do any of that. He can't score either. So what's the essence?
Interesting.
So you see this whole thing. How many they spend over 2 billion? What is and when you put out the team, you can't find where the money went into.
So are you attributing the issue of Chelsea to their structure or their project, or what are you looking at it?
You look at the project that they say they have.
Is it a project?
You don't see the project in the first place. And they have a managerial structure problem.
Okay.
Because if you bring in Enzo Maresca, who was doing fine, you sack him. Yes, Enzo Maresca had a dip in December.
No, even Maresca's leaving or exit wasn't about form. It was more about internal issues, medical issues.
And you brought in, I thought you were going to bring in a coach who can handle the team better, but you brought in a coach whose CV...
naive.
What is CV? Taking Strasbourg to Europa League or to Conference Europe. And he was serving in the French League 1.
So it wasn't like he was competing.
It wasn't like he was competing.
So now who do you think they should bring in?
They should bring in a coach. With this Chelsea team, they need a coach who can actually... who has seen it all. Let me use that word. A coach who has seen it all.
Okay.
Not merely a coach who is an upcoming. I've seen the coaches that have been linked. Andoni Iraola, Xabi Alonso, Frank Lampard and co. They've all been linked to the Chelsea job. But they need to bring in a coach who has seen it all. That can tell these players, do this and do that.
All right.
They don't need to make another mistake again, because the Chelsea project is not projecting. The Chelsea project is not projecting. And if you spend this amount of money and we don't see the kind of players that you brought in, then what kind of investment are you doing?
All right. So you say Chelsea should go in for a better coach, a top tier
manager. A top tier. If I am the Bluco, I will rival United for Nagelsmann.
Or Luis Enrique.
Or Luis Enrique won't come, unfortunately.
Or Tuado. All right, so why? I mentioned Otuado. He's available.
I comment my reserve.
He's unemployed. He's available for any job. So
unemployed.
Yeah, he's not working now. Or
Kotoko going to be coach.
Oh, Charlie, I said or there is Kotoko's coach who ran away, Prince Owusu. He's also available.
And
so Bisky is available for the Chelsea job. Let's see whether Chelsea will come for him. Remember, the show is an interactive one, so we will display our call numbers on our screen very soon. Try and give us a call, share your comments. Who is winning the title? Is it Arsenal or Manchester City? What is happening to Spurs? What is happening to Chelsea? If you're a Chelsea fan, are you happy that Liam Rosenior has been sacked? Which coach are you looking forward to be brought in to steer the affairs for Chelsea Football Club? The numbers will be displayed on your screens very soon. Just give us a call or also give us a text in there. But there is a breaking news. Something has happened. As we are here, we also have our eyes at the Kotoka International Airport. Something is happening right now as we speak. Carlos Corres. How do you mention the name? Carlos Corres. The man has landed, and that's his first picture in Ghana. There we have it on our screens. Remember, tomorrow at the Alisa Hotel at 1 p.m., he will be speaking with the media. We'll be there to bring you up to date. Carlos Corres has arrived in the Black Stars of Ghana. Upcoming in June. He's been given a contract of 4 months. To ensure that at least the Black Stars of Ghana get to the quarterfinals of the FIFA World Cup. Bismarck, your one is in. Finally, tomorrow at the Alisa Hotel, he will meet the press to share his vision, what he has for the club, for the country, and maybe possibly some players he will be calling to feature for the Black Stars of Ghana.
We are all looking forward to him speak whatever he has for us. Yes, some of us he needs to prove us wrong. Yes, he won't prove me wrong, and I hope he proved me wrong, or he proved me wrong also, and take Ghana. You know, the press conference will be very important because whatever that this man says,
it will be used against him, right?
Exactly, he'll be held accountable too. And I just hope the press or the media that will give an opportunity to ask questions will ask pertinent and important questions.
So what questions are you looking forward to? I'll be there tomorrow. Maybe I can get a chance to ask a question.
So one question that if you go there, you get a chance to ask him. Does he have the full authority to call all the players that he wants to, or there will be internal? You know what I mean?
Internal what? You've not completed your
internal interference.
Oh, okay.
Or he has the boss.
So what if he has internal interference? What is the issue?
Then there's not. What is he coming to? He should step down.
No, but last week I told you there that during this interview he said he doesn't know the squad. So yes. we have a caller on the line. Let's go and have it. Hello. What's your name and where are you calling from? So the caller has been dropped. So you can kindly call in again. We will display the number on our screens. Carlos Queiroz is in town. He's the man to lead the Black Stars to the Mundial, the World Cup 2026, set to be hosted by the USA, Canada, and Mexico. Liam Rosenior has been sacked. Arsenal and Manchester City, who do you think will go all the way to win the English Premier League? So I was saying that, I was here last week and I told you that during this interview, he did mention, from our sources, he did mention that he doesn't have a full understanding of our squad. Yeah, he knows some of the players like the Pates, the Jordan, the Kudus. These are the spines of the team. But for the others, so definitely, probably the GFA will give him a suggestion that, maybe in the last 3 call-ups or in the last 4 call-ups by the former coach, these are the main players that the coach will. I don't think that's interference, or is it for you?
We have interference. There is difference between you suggesting or you opinionating something to someone and you tell the person, do this.
Okay.
So he said, he already said that he doesn't really know the core play. So I asked myself, you have 2 ways of picking a coach. You either outsource or the coach applies. I don't know which one the GFA did, whether they outsourced or they applied.
Okay.
He applied.
Okay.
If he applied, then I don't think he should have been hired in the first place, because if you don't have much idea about something, you don't apply for it.
Okay.
If they outsourced him, that is fine.
Okay.
But then if he doesn't know or have much idea about the players that we have here, and the GFA say, these are our core players, this and this and this and this and this. These are some of the players we've called over the time. And that's why I was saying that calling Otuado would have been important, very, very important, to know at least some of the core. So the GFA will tell him, maybe Partey, Jordan Ayew, Kudus, but Kudus is injured. This and this are some of the core players that we have. But then, whichever player that you are going to take to the World Cup shouldn't be a call by the GFA, because they are not the one that are going to play the World Cup.
I get your point.
It should be your call. If you don't have the boss or the man as a coach, you don't have the authority over the call-up or the players selected to go to the World Cup, then it is recipe for disaster.
All right. So already yesterday we heard that Baba Rahman, he has called Baba Rahman to come. Are you happy about that?
I think for our left back position,
he's not played in the last.
He's not played the last 3 years because of what happened.
In Kumasi.
For between Gideon Mensah and Baba Rahman, I've always will pick Baba Rahman.
But there is Derek Atakon also.
So now,
who proved in the last game against Germany for me?
Yes, against Germany he did well, especially in the second half. Yeah. He did really, really well. In the first half, but in the second half he really did well. But now it comes back to experience. You have everyone who is well experienced in this Black Star team. Gideon Mensah is also experienced because he has played quite a number of matches. Now experience comes, versatility comes in, trust comes in. Before you put a player on the pitch, you need to trust the player. Between these 3, who does the coach trust the most? And if you have Derek Con and you have Gideon Mensah, because I don't think you need to take 3 players for every position to the World Cup.
No, that wouldn't be possible.
It's not.
It's just a 26-man
squad. You at least need two players in every position, and a three goalkeeper, three goalkeepers to go to the World Cup. The Recon did your men's man. You need to drop one. Now it comes back to the coach decision. Who are you dropping? Now you've called. I've read to the arrest stories about Baba Man coming back. Baba Man did your men's side. The Recon. Who are you dropping? And who are you taking to the World Cup?
Let's see how it goes. So that is it for you in terms of the Black Stars. We will try and receive some calls about 2 o'clock. But I have some text messages here. This one is coming from. Let me try and get it well. This one is coming from Felix Boafo. Felix, thanks so much for watching the show every day. He says, James, you are doing a good job. I'm doing the watching for Matayeko. Felix Boafo, thank you so much for watching the show. You always do. Abang, I always call you Abang. Thank you for always watching the show in there. Let me try and get some messages. So there are more videos coming from our man who is on the grounds at the Kozoka International Post. Or boils to the fact that Carlos Queiroz is in town, and tomorrow he will be meeting the press to share his vision, his mission for Ghana and the targets that he has set. He will also get the opportunity to see his technical team that will be joining him. Already we've heard that Roger Desar, who is a South African, will be joining him as an assistant coach. He will also be doubling up as the goalkeepers coach for the Black Stars of Ghana. Fatal Dada, we are hearing, will be the goalkeepers coach number 2, assistant goalkeepers coach. Desmond Ofer, we are also hearing, or we are also picking up that Desmond Ofer will be the assistant coach number 2 on the bench. So Roger Desar will be the assistant number 1, whilst Desmond Ofer becomes the assistant number 2. Roger Desar also double as the goalkeepers coach. That's the number 1. Fatal Dada will deputize him. That means John Pencil will no more be there. We are also hearing that there will be 2 video analysts previously who worked with Otuado might join the technical team. Carlos might also bring in another video analyst and also a performance coach or a fitness coach. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how the technical team will shape up. If there is no call, and then we wrap up this particular show, and that's how we draw the curtains here on Sports World. My name is James Ohinba. I did this with Besma. I think we have a caller on the line. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from? All right, so that caller has left the line. So as I did, do you have a caller now? All right, so I did this with Bismarck and Ponsa in here. We delved deep into the title race and everything. Bismarck, your last words before we go.
Oh, I think we will be this week and this weekend will be great. We will be seeing what will happen in the title race and in the relegation zone. And I wish both teams, Man City and Arsenal, the best. Though I wish Arsenal doesn't win the title, not because I hate them, but because you people talk too much.
Who are the you people?
Arsenal fans, talk too.
Every fan base talk.
Arsenal fans talk too.
Have we seen a team that their fan base don't talk?
We don't talk. United fans don't talk.
Fans.
Yes. And greetings to greetings to my mom.
Sharp.
Yeah, Fosti, Michao, and my little sister Dora. The last time was man chanting to COVID.
Okay,
so I mentioned.
Yes,
Good evening to Dora.
Okay.
Dora, your friend Dora.
Dora.
Yes.
Dora. Thanks for doing.
Thank you to our viewers also.
Yeah.
For always watching us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm open to it. When you'll be able.
You'll be able.
Oh.
One of them, Jano.
Okay. When you say you'll be able, Madam BD. So on that note, if Bismarck does not have anyone to give a shout out to, that's where we draw the curtains on the show. Remember, tomorrow in the morning there will be ABC in the morning with Abdul Mountain. Then in the afternoon there will be game time with Dennis and also Nana Kwekujan, and also be bringing you live feed from the Alisa Hotel in there. My name is James Oiniba Makion. Have a good night and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye bye.